come on in. So this is the Pearl Girls shop, and I am going to admit I'm having a bit of an emotional day today. I was out playing outside with my kids, and I'm back at the store just to do some virtual meetings, and I had to get some information for these meetings. So I came on in, and I, a while ago, told y'all I was gonna do a live video of the Pearl Girls shop. So I thought this is as good of a time as any to do it, because this is my little love story of my shop. And we are going through some crazy and uncertain times right now, and I know every single person with a little dream is living in uncertainty of what will happen. I certainly feel very confident. That seems to be my MO, but I feel very confident that the Pearl Girls is gonna make it through all of this. But business has been impacted, of course. We've had to close our doors to in-store traffic, and that is a huge part of our revenue. It just is. Fortunately, we have online sales and a lot of wonderful customers that shop with us, which I'm so appreciative about. But I just thought, I'm gonna do this little video, and I'm gonna show you around this shop as if you were here, and I promise I'm gonna dry out these little tears, because it is a story of love. It is not a story of sadness at all. Because I love it here, and I love what we do, and I'm absolutely just in love with pearls and just their meaning and their significance, and that seems especially true nowadays. As many of you know, my love affair with pearls started when I was 8 years old. My dad gave me a strand of pearls. My whole family, we traveled to Japan, and my dad gave me my first strand of pearls. And I have loved those pearls. And fast forward to 2020, I've been in business. I've been working with pearls since 2008. My sister and I started the Pearl Girls. We started working with pearls in 2006, 2008, we actually created the name The Pearl Girls. In 2010, she decided to return to her first love, which is art. She is an amazing art director, art curator. She places art in all these amazing places. She's just fabulous. So no hard feelings between the two of us. And I did think, how does the Pearl Girls become the Pearl Girl? And in this past 10 years, I really realized it's the Pearl Girls because all of us who find meaning and find jewelry in connection, in our lineages, in antiques, in all of these things that grant us access to something bigger than who we are. We all seem to be Pearl Girls. Because we make all of our jewelry here at the Pearl Girls, although a lot of the Pearl Girl staff can work from home too, but because we make all of our jewelry and we know how to not find jewelry and how to make jewelry, it was just a natural progression to launch the Pearl Girls jewelry repair business. And through it, we have really been able to put our hands on the jewelry that has a lot of meaning to you. Like, you have shared your history with us, which has just been the coolest thing ever. Not only has it expanded my knowledge of pearls, I have a degree in pearls, I study pearls, I go to pearl farms all over the world, but even to be able to access seeing all of your gems from hundreds of years has been such a wonderful gift for me. So anyway, I will quit talking and show you around the shop, okay? So here is what it looks like when you walk in the door. And a lot of people notice this, at least somewhere coming in or on their way out, because I do have this prominent photo of myself. I like to tell people I am a little blonder now, but back then I was a full-on brunette, pregnant with my second son. That was in 2011 that photo was taken. And it was the second pearl farm I'd actually ever been to. So, you know, that was 9 years ago. I went to my very first pearl farm 10 years ago. So, but this is a neat photo because this is the largest pearling region in the world. It's an area outside of Shanghai, China, and they produce about 1 billion pearls every year. So it's huge, and a lot of the Pearl Girls pearls do come from this area, so it's really neat. And over here, and maybe I'll just bring this a little closer so you can see it. This literally fascinates people because you can see the volume. These are called a triangle mollusk. They are a freshwater mollusk that has been crossbred to, well, it was naturally that huge, but crossbred to be bigger and to be able to sustain themselves while holding lots of pearls. In fact, you may be able to see in this other, I'll fix that later, but in this other photo, these mollusks hold lots of pearls. So they actually stay in the water longer than a lot of oysters, but they produce a lot of pearls at once. So it's neat. These aren't the pearls. This is sort of a byproduct of the cultured pearl industry. Pearls are born free form within the soft tissue body of a mollusk or oyster or bivalve. They are not fused against the shell. Some people think like you just carve those out of the shell. That's actually something else. The inside lining of a mollusk is called mother of pearl. And really it's that same material that a mollusk uses to make its shell, it uses to make its pearls. So it's that same nacre, we call it, or mother of pearl. So you can see the shells are just so beautiful. And you can also see, you know, when you're eating oysters and maybe you chomp down on a pearl, it really is a pearl, but it maybe didn't come from that same beautiful mother, if you will. So, you know, the beautiful mother of pearl is going to show you that that's going to be a beautiful pearl because of its coloring. Also, this is a cool thing I love to tell people who come in the shop. The color of a pearl is determined by that same mother of pearl. So you can look at the shell and you will know what color pearl will be formed from that shell. Now, it's nature, so you know there's a huge range, but we know looking at this shell that this triangle mollusk makes white, pink, and a mauvey purple pearl. And how do we know that? Because that's what the color of the shell is. In a second, I'll show you some Tahitian black pearls. In fact, let's just head on over there because, you know, we're just messing around the shop here, aren't we? So let me take you over here. Okay, so here we have Tahitian pearls. These are called black Tahitian pearls, but as you can see, there's a lot of blues and silvers and grays in there. They have quite a variation of color. They come from the black-lipped oyster, which is an oyster that has a little black ring around it. Now again, variations, Mother Nature. So this color can really vary from like a dark black to like let's say blackish green, blackish pink, blackish silver, right? So they will, you know, technicians that nucleate the pearl, so, you know, taking it on back, a cultured pearl just means a pearl that has had human intervention to start the pearl making process. And how they do that in salt water is they insert a piece of tissue from the donor oyster and they insert a mother of pearl bead and the pearl forms on top of that bead. So the tissue donor, they will select the tissue donor based on the color of the shell that it has made. So, you know, if you want a dark, rich black, you'll attempt to use a donor of a dark, rich black shell, and it may or may not translate, you know, to these same color pearls that you're wanting, but that's kind of how you work with, you know, cultured pearls. But again, it's all about the color of the shell. So looking at this color of shell, this is what always fascinates me. This is a shell that produces Tahitian black pearls. but it can also produce Tahitian white pearls. Isn't that cool? Because, I mean, the shell is predominantly this whitish silver color. In fact, they're very similar to this South Sea oyster. So this one is a silver-lipped, let me see, yeah, a silver-lipped, and we also have gold-lipped oysters. The gold-lipped oysters are more likely to produce gold pearls. The silver-lipped oysters make silver pearls, right? So, you know, they're very, very similar in that kind of silvery white color. In fact, let me see if I can reach in here. I do have this beautiful little pendant in my case here. You can see that that's got a South Sea pearl on it. You can see that's a really beautiful piece that our artist here made. All right, next one, Sea of Cortez pearls. They call this the rainbow-lipped oyster. And it kind of has, you know, it's not like a full-on colors of the rainbow, but there are a lot of blues and mauves and silvers. And so again, they will mimic that coloring. I don't know if you can see it with that big white background, but that'll be very similar coloring in the pearls that they form. That, interestingly enough, is not a spherical pearl, it is a Mabe pearl. And so that was a pearl that did fuse against the side of the shell and then was cut out. So that's pretty cool. Okay, I've got more to show you in the Pearl Girls shop. Over here, we've got just what I call some real fun pieces. Because I was gifted with these beautiful set of pearls, my dad gave me earrings and a necklace and a bracelet that I wore throughout my life. I really loved and cherished those pearls and understood that they were something for special occasions. So although I have walked through life, you know, wearing those to pretty much every significant event in my life, I really didn't have, until I started the Pearl Girls, I didn't just have those fun things to wear. So that's another part of the Pearl Girls that I love, is fun things like an elastic bracelet that you can just slide on your wrist. Cool things like tassels, and I love the shapes of pearls. A lot of people who come in the shop ask us about the shapes. So this is a little star pearl pendant. So as I mentioned, in saltwater productions, they insert a mother of pearl bead and a little piece of tissue to start the pearl making process on top of that nucleus. Well, the same is true even if it's in freshwater pearls, freshwater or saltwater. Any shape that you find originated with that same intent. So this star pearl started with a star-shaped mother of pearl piece that was inserted in the oyster, and it made the pearl kind of using this template. Now, of course, Mother Nature doesn't always give us this perfectly shaped star. So I always tell people, you know, I don't know if you can kind of see the top of that. It's not going to be perfect. These are all natural organic gems. So, you know, sometimes they look a little different, but I do love the shapes. We also do some with fish, which I think are great. And also, that is the concept behind coin pearls. So y'all probably have heard of coin pearls. They are basically just disc-shaped pearls, sort of like a coin. Well, the same thing is true. A little round disc was inserted in the mollusk to cause it to start making a pearl, and it made a pearl on top of the disc. Now, the cool thing about any of these interesting shapes is something you call orient. And orient is sort of that rainbow iridescence to pearls. So you'll see in this flat surface, sometimes it catches the light. I don't know if you'll be able to see it here on the camera, but it can catch the light and kind of look like, almost like an oil slick. You know how an oil slick or gas will kind of have that, like those colors to it. The same are true for coin pearls, which is one reason I love them. Another cool one, if you can see over here, this is abalone. And I don't have an abalone shell here, but you have probably seen abalone shells. You know, they'll have a lot of them in New Zealand, the west coast of the US, California, they've got abalone. Further on in Asia, they're abalone, but I know Australia is a big source of abalone. Abalone are very hard to culture. So, you know, you would naturally look at this color shell and think that would make for a very beautiful pearl. It is very difficult to culture an abalone pearl. I heard that in New Zealand, a pearl farm was trying it, and I think by now they've possibly given up, but it is not a common thing, an abalone pearl. You might find a natural pearl that's abalone. They are sea snails, so they're gastropods, but they can produce a pearl. Any organism that can produce its own shell can produce a pearl. Doesn't necessarily do it. It doesn't necessarily create the pearl and survive, but they can. This abalone is abalone mother of pearl. So I love elements of abalone. I love this coloring, but these are not actual pearls. They are the inside lining of the shell, the mother of pearl. So what else? Okay, let's keep on going in the shop. This beauty is my wedding dress. So a lot of people who come in the shop say, whose dress is that? Well, this is the dress that I made my debut in because I was a Southern debutante. And then my mom had told me whatever dress you make your debut in, you will also wear for your wedding. So I also got married in this dress. Interestingly enough, when we were setting up the shop, so I bought this shop 5 years ago. Up until then, we were operating out of one room, and I just had this vision that I wrote about for a year of I wanted a place where we could have separate child care rooms for our children. We could hire a babysitter to be with our children and play with them. I wanted an outside area so they could play outside, but I knew I wanted to be close to my children. I knew the women who made our jewelry here wanted to be close to their children as well, but there just wasn't enough space where we were. I mean, we had children and makers and jewelry and all of that happening all in one room, and people knocking on the door wanting to come shop with us. So I opened the Pearl Girl shop 5 years ago, and while setting up the shop, I decided to put a wedding dress just to show how appropriate pearls are for a wedding. Don't we all know that? And I pulled out my wedding dress, and you know all that money that you spend to get your wedding dress cleaned and boxed up and all of that? Well, I'm sorry to say my dry cleaner is now closed, but they just packed up my dress without actually cleaning it. So 15 years later, or however many it was, 10 years later when I go to pull it out, it was all dirty. It had not been washed since my wedding. So I took it to be cleaned. It's still got lots of stains down it, but it's just a fun thing to have in the shop. Which brings me to my classic pearls, which it was always my dream that the Pearl Girls is the destination for women who want pearls to walk through life with. Because I absolutely love our pearls. I think they are an amazing price, and they really have the beauty and the sustainability to gift to a woman at her graduation or on her sweet 16 or whatever it is, and watch her wear these pearls to every significant event in her life. So we do single strands, double strands, triple strands. We got single strand bracelets, triple strand bracelets. We got like all the classic looks. And it really probably still is just my favorite piece of jewelry is a classic strand of pearls. But we do contemporary things. Over here are our leather and pearls. I mean, we got like the single pearl on leather that all the young people love. We do various bracelets with pearls and leather and long things and colorful things. But again, I loved mixing trendy designs with pearls because again, we don't have to just save for for that wedding or that funeral, or where, whatever, our debut, whatever significant event that we want to wear our pearls, it's fun to incorporate pearls in just every day. One more thing to show you. Okay, wait, maybe two things to show you. Pearl rings. I have been just overjoyed with the artist that I have gotten to know on this journey for the Pearl Girls. And we have just one of the most amazing women with just the most generous spirits working with us. She just said, I want to be a Pearl Girl, and what can I do? And she actually asks me that about every week. I want to be a Pearl Girl, and what can I do? So, she's just gives and gives and gives, but what she gives most is, which I love, is she creates all of our metal work pieces. So we at heart are beaders, we are knotters, we can do wire wrap, we can make simple, earrings, but when it comes to soldering and hammering and metal work, Sylvia Daw is our woman. So she has given us this chance to offer pearl rings, which I just love. In fact, I think I have I'm surprised I'm not wearing one of her pearl rings today. I have so many of them. But that's such a cool and wonderful gift. And now, the last thing I was going to tell you. I'm over here. It's this simple, just like good old, just can't go wrong, like stud earrings or a simple single pearl necklace. I love to show these to people because this is, again, like another great way to wear pearls, like the simplicity of one beautiful pearl. The simplicity of just two pearls, just ear bobs, just little bobs in your ears. They're just so amazing. Now, of course, there is more. In fact, you can hear me echoing. There is more to the Pearl Girls. We have our workroom here where everyone comes in at least one day a week, sometimes 2 days a week, to pick up homework, to take home, or to work on reknots. If we are repairing your pearl jewelry, I require everyone to keep everything locked up, take one job at a time, work on it, and then return it back to our secure room. I'm not going to show you our secure room just so we can make sure nobody sees that. But I do have an entire locked room, locked and barred, so everything is safe here. And then, of course, we have our wonderful office manager who packages and ships everything and talks to everybody on the phone. Unfortunately, all of our children are now old enough to be in school, so we do not have our child care rooms, although I do offer our staff pay for their child care at home. Most of the older kids we're dealing more with getting off the bus and things like that. So everybody can keep their kids at home and don't have to come down here to the shop. But, thank you. It truly is just an amazing place. This has been an amazing 14 years of working with pearls, and hopefully many more to come. But I did just want to share the shop with you, and let me give you one more little just view of it. Here it is, the Pearl Girls shop on Hawthorne Avenue in Athens, Georgia. Thanks so much for just taking a look around with me and letting me share my passion with you. All the best. Bye.